Shalom everyone, Assalamu alaikum, Islam to all the Moors. Welcome to the free Astro Theology course. I am Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. And let's pick it up. So we took some time away from our topic and went through part one of the lecture on Freemasonry. Now we're back to the houses of the Zodiac, okay, y'all? And we're gonna focus in on that, and so let's make it do what it do, all right? So the houses of the Zodiac talk about life, the life of a man or a woman, in the various. What did Dr. Frances Cress Wessling call it? I think she said all areas of people activity. Yeah, I really like her. I never met her, but I really like her style of teaching. She is so authentic, and she was for her people, as far as I can see, and but yeah. Okay, y'all. So we went over the first house, and we went also over Virgo, and I found so much information out that I have been searching for a long time. All of a sudden, boom, I find it. So I didn't know if I should share it today or share it over time. It's a lot of extra information. This whole Virgo thing is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And it has its origin. It's actually, y'all, it's actually a corruption. It's actually a corruption of the circumpolar zodiac projection. But we'll get into that later. But it's really very, very interesting stuff. And keep in mind that our instructions are to return to that state of mind as our ancient foremothers and forefathers. All right, that's the whole point of me doing it. Most people they go to the ecliptical or solar zodiac projection, and then they leave it at that. Right? They leave it at that. And I imagine some people might be upset with me for doing what I'm doing. Either they don't understand it or, whatever. But it is what it is. And when I present it, y'all can, I hope y'all will use it. Okay, so let's go to the second house. The second house. And so, by the way, let me show y'all an image. Let me show you an image of the houses. In my so I have I got a new gig, and I'm gonna use a lot of images. And it's very interesting how, in my life, I do things I'm interested in, and then all of a sudden, I can apply it professionally. What am I? Oh, houses. And let me show y'all something else too. So I'm always talking about the need and importance of making margin notes. Nobody else is supposed to be able to read your margin notes. There's no such thing as good margin notes. Your margin notes are only good if they serve the purpose that you have for having margin notes, right? My purpose is to flag, tag, whatever topics I'm interested in and that I want to do further research on, or to be able to find something really quickly, or to remind me to talk about something. So it just depends on what your purpose is for the margin notes, but you should have margin notes so that you can navigate. That's what I want. The margin notes should be for navigating your document to, dang, mosquitoes everywhere, y'all, in this place, to assist you in navigating your document more quickly so you know where information is. No one can ever tell you your margin notes are bad. Don't ever worry about whether or not you have good margin notes. The question is, are they serving the purpose that you have for them? So navigating your document, finding terms, finding concepts that you want to teach or remember or whatever your purpose might be. So let me tell y'all an experience I had. So let me show you an example. These are examples of my margin notes. Just notes written on the empty side of the page, right? Header notes and footer notes. So let me show y'all that. So take a look. All right, so these are areas that I'm going to do further research in. These are areas of interest that I have taught and intend to teach more of in the future. I'm going to use this stuff often or frequently, right? So let me show y'all something else. Notice what it has here. So this is Argo, which is really Noah's Ark. Argo, Noah's Ark. This is actually an example of a ark, right? But it's actually a crescent moon or a crescent, okay? But there's a story behind this. So you see here, this is the Egyptian ark, but there's a story and some correlations that we need to integrate into our knowledge base. All right, so, I have it here, upside down crescent, okay? A crescent moon. And then it goes into all of this other stuff that we could then integrate. So whenever you see Isis, that'll also take you back to where? Mother and child, and then the celestial origin of the name Jesus, even though there's an issue with the J and all of that. But the point is that JC doesn't have a father because it is celestial. Y'all see it? Hence, Mary was conceived by immaculate conception. Okay, y'all? But take a look at the margin notes. I'm gonna make my point soon. Y'all see the margin notes? See that? All right, so this book, all my books, I put margin notes. Because with discipline, educating yourself is largely a matter of discipline, self-discipline. And over time, you develop, or if you're lucky, your parents will help you do it when you're young. You develop the discipline to take notes, margin notes. Now, I never advise my students to take notes. In fact, in the past, I have advised people to listen to a recording. Don't take notes, pay attention during the lecture. After the lecture, go get the recording, listen, and then a second time, then take notes. Because if you're taking notes, you don't know, your attention is divided. Most men, now women can do it, most women can do it, but most men cannot listen and write at the same time. you're not going to learn anything, right? You'll wind up wasting your time and money. So I advise people to listen, then go listen to or watch the audio or the video a second time. Now you know what it's about, and now you know what you need to know and what you don't need to know, right? Or what you want to know more about, whatever your interests are. And then you take notes, okay? Then you take notes. But my point is, here are more margin notes. So y'all can see this probably doesn't mean anything to you, but for me, I understand it. I understand it. Okay? And so I just happened to go to an interview for a role lecturer in a university, and I've been wanting to lecture at a university for the last couple of years. So it just so happens this topic came up. They asked to see. I showed them this book. I showed them because I think they teach their students how to take margin notes. It's part of the part of their curriculum. So let me show y'all. Hold on. So I showed them, these are the writs that I got from enforcetheconstitution.org. So you can see the margin notes. So I have all kinds of, markings and things like that to help me navigate my documents, to remember certain stuff I want to remember. Right? So y'all might recognize these writs, these holy writs, these glorious, brilliant, shiny. Remember, holy means shiny, sunlight, rays of the sun. And actually, I think so. They made me an offer, and I think these margin notes had a lot to do with it, to be honest, because they seem so impressed. Yeah, they were very, very impressed for some reason or another, and they made me an offer. So my point is that while you go through these lectures with me, take margin notes. Do the things that other people won't do. Develop the habit and taste for study. And then once you understand information, you can then use it, and it becomes much more easy to use because you understand it. So let's get back into our topic, page 172. Let me show you what the houses look like. One moment. Let me get a good image. All right, so here's an image here. It's not the best. But do you see that it's going counterclockwise? Whereas the zodiac signs go clockwise. Okay, so the zodiac signs, they don't move. Everything else is moving. So the houses are moving with the earth. So the houses are going into different zodiac signs, okay, y'all? All right. And these modern day explanations, like I've looked on YouTube and looked at some images on the internet, the modern day explanation for the houses, well, maybe they simplify them. Maybe they simplify them, but they're not as detailed. And so I brought in the esoteric astrology. So if we have time, I'm going to look at the houses through here. The esoteric astrology book. And who publishes this? Who published this? The author is, so this is the Esoteric Astrology, A Study in Human Nature by Alan Lee, published at Modern Astrology Office, Imperial Building, Ludgate, Circus, London, 1913. If y'all want to follow up. So we're going to use this. It's not on our list, but okay, so this is Astrology for All, series volume 7. Wow, I need to get the rest of those. I never paid attention. Anyway, let's get into it. So the second house, page 172. The second house signifies the wealth, poverty, movable goods, personal property, and money of the native or current. So the current is a person who's asking a question of an astrologer, right? A yes or no question, as I understand it. So here it signifies wealth or poverty, movable goods, personal property. So you should make these, you should correlate these with law terms. Correlate these with law terms. So this, in my opinion, sounds like this is your inheritance. This is, let me show y'all. Let's go to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the Moroccan Empire and the United States of North America. The foreign United States of North America. Let me find the treaty really quickly. Hold on. I know I have it here. Let's see, I see the Constitution. So what I did, y'all, I printed the Constitution, our Zodiac Constitution, Clock of Destiny, Volume 1 and 2. What else did I print? Well, documents like that, I printed into one book. Oh, Seton Bay Civics. So I printed these documents into one book. You can understand the relationship why I did that. Okay. So right there with the Constitution. The treaty should be in here somewhere. I don't know why I didn't turn right to it. As far as I remember, I printed it in here. But if not, I'm sure I have it in one of the other ones. I hope. Hold on, y'all. So I want to orient you with where these goods, these property is discussed in the treaty. You know, I printed it here. Am I losing my mind? Destiny 2. Huh. I gotta find a new printer, y'all. I had it here. So I have a restoration of consular court in this booklet. Who's the author? But all of these documents are on enforcetheconstitution.org. So what am I saying? You can organize, you can put these in book form, and then you can have the documents that are related to each other in one book, and then that way you can cover the information and assimilate it, right? You can see the relationships. You don't have to go from one book to the other. Everything is right there. Hold on. I don't see who the author is for this, but give me 1 second. So Zodiac Constitution is in here. So I don't see the treaty. So the printer did not print the treaty in the book. Hold on. But anyway, these are the effects mentioned in the treaty. I know it's not in here. These are all writs. What am I losing my mind, y'all? I know I refer to the treaty quite often. I thought. Hold on. I must have it in it must be in a different book. Wow. Oh boy. So now I have to go and have this book rebound. I'm pretty sure I was looking at the treaty out of this book. I guess I wasn't. Well, I'll find a new printer. That's the one thing, y'all. When you leave, when you go overseas, the standards are much lower, and you can't be pushy. People will turn against you. You have to lower your standards. Literally, you have to lower. In fact, you don't realize that your standards are high until you really go overseas and you start to see. That's why, when I went overseas, actually even before that, I studied with people from all over the world, and they give Asian people from India and other parts of Asia, they have a stereotype where they're so disciplined, so smart. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Furthest thing from the truth. The furthest. Yeah, y'all, unfortunately, I don't have it with me. It must be in one of the books that I left at home. Oh well, but these are the effects. Let me see if I can find yeah. Okay, so in the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1836, between the Moroccan Empire and the United States of North America, Article 24, this is what it reads. If any difference shall arise by either party that is the Moor or citizen of the United States, infringing on any of the articles of this treaty, peace and harmony shall remain notwithstanding in the fullest force, until a friendly application shall be made for an arrangement, right? In other words, y'all come up with an agreement, okay? In writing, you put something together and you agree. And until that application shall be rejected, no appeal shall be made to arms. And if war shall break out between the parties, 9 months shall be granted to all the subjects of both parties, listen, to dispose of their effects and retire with their property. And it is further declared that whatever indulgences in trade, that's your business, that's your, for example, let's go back to the second house. Signifies wealth, poverty, movable goods, personal property. Okay? It continues. And money of the native, of the aboriginal, of the indigenous, the autochthonous Moor, or Koran. Loss or gain, that's profit and losses, profit or losses, by commodities or money lent, that's business. That's commerce, profit, gain, loss, or damage in lawsuits. Okay, so now we're dealing with treaty, consular jurisdiction. I hope y'all follow me. We're dealing with consular jurisdiction, commerce. It continues. It signifies the assistance by friends. The assistance by friends. And I think it's also interesting. Article 24 says, until a friendly application shall be made. Okay? So we are friends. They're our opponents, but we should have a friendly relationship with them. So, scholars, the way I'm looking at this, it says here, we're in the second house, page 122, last sentence of the paragraph. It signifies assistance by friends. Article 24. If any difference shall arise by either party infringing on any of the articles of this treaty, peace and harmony shall remain notwithstanding in full force until a friendly application shall be made for an arrangement. Y'all see that? So this is the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Okay, y'all? And what is the authoritative venue? Consular jurisdiction. We're talking about the second house. The second house. Y'all like and share the video, please. And if you know if you have any friends who you think might benefit from this, y'all let them know it's on. So look at the second house. So the second house. So let's see from the sixth house. Well, we'll go through it. I think we'll go through it here. So again, it signifies the assistance by friends. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1836, between the Moroccan Empire and the United States of North America, the foreign United States of North America. Okay, y'all. Now, it also, we see the word effects in Article 6. And isn't it interesting? Article 24, Article 6, 24 plus 6 is 30. 3 plus 0 is 3, and there you are back at 3. I think we see a pattern. But what's the full meaning? Who knows? I don't know. Like, I'm not a numerologist. I don't know. If someone could, if y'all know somebody, ask them to contact me or give me their contact information. And let's get them on here, or at least if they don't want to do that, I can have a conversation with them and we can explore what this means. Okay, Article 6. And this is not the whole article. So I'm reading, well, let me read the article. This is not, it says here in parentheses, in relevant part. If any more, not a subject of these dominions shall make prize of any of the citizens of America or their effects. In other words, if they take their property. See, it doesn't say how they take their property. It just says if they take their property, they make prize. It doesn't say the mechanism. It doesn't say if they rob you at gunpoint, rob you with a knife. It doesn't say if they rob you with public policy. It doesn't say if they rob you with a corporate, with a de facto corporate entity pretending to be government. The mechanism is not important. You see how wise our ancestors were? It says here, shall make prize of any of the citizens of America or their effects, and bring them into any parts of his majesty, they shall be immediately released, as they will then be considered as under his majesty's protection. And I just had a thought. I don't know if I should share it. Let me read this again. Okay, so citizens of America. America is a continent, right? And we had our continental flag. And what I'm thinking of, I'm gonna share with y'all what I'm thinking of. All right? And I don't, this is something I don't know, but I'm gonna share it with you. Y'all remember in Clock of Destiny 1 and 2, C.M. Bay talks about the hybrid troglodyte niggers. So let's put 2 and 2 together. Clock of Destiny Volume 1 and Volume 2. Okay, now this is our culture, and this is the history that was provided for us. Okay, regardless of who likes it or who doesn't like it. C.M. Bay, and I wasn't there, but I have the opinion that he got this information from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, let me show y'all what I'm getting at. C.M. Bay tells us about the hybrids, about Yaqub, right? He tells us about Yaqub and the blonde women and their sons. See, mother and son. Now, mother and son is actually, y'all, let me tell y'all something. Mother and son is actually the ancient way. And then the Christians flipped it. They flipped it to the father, and then the mother is, somewhere off there. But remember, when we talk about mother and son, we're not talking about a fleshly mother and a fleshly father. That is a remix. So mother and son is celestial. You heard? Mother and son words refers to the constellation Cassiopeia. Do I have the book? Hold on, y'all. Let me show y'all. In ancient times, excuse me, Cassiopeia, from which they flipped the script and assign the attributes of Cassiopeia to the Virgin Mary. Assign it to the Virgin Mary, all right? And then in later, so now Cassiopeia is toward the north, if I remember correctly. It's part of the northern part of the circumpolar zodiac projection, which of course is focused on the two poles, the North Pole, the North Star, and then the South Pole, all right? And the 7 stations in the north. But let me see if I could, I don't have the book. I don't have the book with Cassiopeia. I didn't bring it. See, y'all, if I need to have two bags. two bags to really do what I want to do here. Now, y'all, it's not my style to sit here and talk about something. I do right by you by showing you out of the book, okay? So, give me 1 second. Yeah, I don't see Cassiopeia, so, is it Cassiopeia here? Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, there's no Cassiopeia. I don't see it. Do I have the Devil's Pool? I didn't bring the Devil's Pool, but I didn't bring my books, y'all, because I felt tired. I didn't bring all of, because I'm tired. So this is Isis and Horus, but it's still mother and son, right? So the same concept, Virgo and Sun. Or in the most ancient times, Cassiopeia and Sun in the north, constellation in the north. Okay, it had nothing to do with a flesh and blood woman and child. Nothing to do with flesh and blood. Let me emphasize that. Nothing at all to do with flesh and blood. It is cosmic. It is cosmic. Okay? It is cosmic. So when you hear that the woman gave birth to a child without a father, it's talking about cosmic, not flesh and blood, men and women. Now, I'm talking about the astrology. I'm talking about the astrology of it, right? Don't get it wrong. I'm talking about the astrology of it. This is why JC has the name JC, because he had no father, so he had to take a variation of his mama's name. And I showed y'all some notes on that. All right, I think I may have just shown it to you earlier when I looked at when I was showing y'all can go back and check it when I was showing the margin notes. All right, so y'all can go back and check it. So there's no need to, I remember there was a lady in one of my classes, and she made a big issue out of the whole woman thing. The maternal system versus the paternal system. But she was looking at it as a flesh and blood thing. But it's cosmic. All right. Now, if you want to apply it flesh and blood, that's okay. But when you hear me talking about it, I'm talking about cosmically. All right, cosmically. In fact, here it is. Is it? Hold on. Well, anyway, y'all can get more on that on your own. I want to keep going. Let's go back to Clock of Destiny, Volume 1, where dealing with the hybrids, okay? So the Blonde Women of Patagonia, this is page 12, Clock of Destiny, Volume 1 by C.M. Bay. They established the Society of the Cross laden with mystical and emotional false doctrines. Then he goes on to talk about Listen to this, y'all. It says here, as a positive weapon of liberating themselves from the amalgamated iron hand rulers or dictators who shielded the secrets of nature. This is what we're going through now, also natural phenomena, right? All of the natural sciences, including law, linguistics, they hid this from them, as shown in the signs of the Zodiac, and established a doctrine of mystery. There's your mystery system. And religious superstition by force. It says a doctrine of mystery, and that's two things. That's two things. So the mystery system is not a mystery system at all. It's an academic system. It's an academic system. Listen, it continues. As a result, the following amalgamated generation of Moorish fathers and blonde mothers grew up in ignorance of the science of the 12 signs of the Zodiac and applied principles of Islam, which in turn resulted in the corruption of the society of Islam under the influence of Islamism. Now, when he says Islam, he's talking about principles, okay? Principles, not a religion. So he says society, right? So what's my point? My point is, if they're involved in if they're in a society, were the hybrids citizens? Were they subjects? Were they citizens? What was their status? That's my point. Let's continue. It says here, let's listen, y'all. It says the corrupt process of the selfish, jealous, amalgamated rulers of the Muslim world. So now they're rulers. So we're dealing with what? Some type of governmental structure. Listen to what they did. They converted the society of Islam into a regimentation, human caste, Hanuman caste system. So maybe this is not talking about man at all. Maybe this is talking about the Hanumans were put into a caste system. What was their status, right? Slavery, economic and social degradation, crime, bloodshed, and human Hanuman destruction, from which was born the army of the mystic banner of the cross. And we're dealing with the Romans, right? Led by the militant, quote-unquote, white women or Patagonian blondes, etc., etc., etc. A great battle between two different types of religious superstitions, namely Islamism and Crossism. So now we know we're talking about what? This is in Europe. This is in the Americas. This is feudalism. This would have been feudalism. Anyway, he continues. And Crossism, referred to as the great battle between the crescent and the cross, or Muhammad and Christ. These would be it sounds like the Crusades, right? It sounds like the Crusades. So my point is that when you look at the different people groups in the Americas and citizens of America, is that what's being talked about in the treaty? Or did the people who have control, or who had the treaty, the 50-year mandate, while we didn't know anything about it, did they edit the document and put American? Was it actually more? Why do I say that? Well, because they do it now. They call themselves American now. Right? Overseas, people will say, I'm American. They're not going to say, I'm a U.S. citizen. They're going to say, I'm American. So did they edit that? Is that something that needs to be corrected in the treaty, y'all? Y'all see what I'm saying? Because it would actually change the meaning. But anyway, let's go back to it. Article 6. If any more, not a subject of these dominions, the Moroccan Empire, shall make prize. Now, the way I understand that is this more honors his ancient foremothers and forefathers. If any more who honors his ancient foremothers and forefathers, who lives, who's living with the mindset of his ancient foremothers and forefathers, shall make prize of any of the citizens, subjects, any of the citizens of America or their effects, I don't know, y'all, and bring them into any port of his majesty, they shall be immediately released, as they will then be considered as under his majesty's protection. Okay? So is this citizens of America or America? Is it something they changed? Or did it actually say that? Did it say any more? Right? Or free more? I don't know. Because America is a continent. So are they talking about the whole continent? Are they talking about what was considered to be the USA back then? In fact, you know what? Does anyone know when did it become popular to call the USA just America? But anyway, let's keep it going. It's just something to think about, right? Relax. Okay, relax. The girl is shaking talking to me. She probably from a province. But we'll come back to this, y'all. So why do I say did they edit it? Because in my experience, they've edited everything. Right? They've edited everything. So we have to correct the documents. But I don't know, you know, I'm not saying I know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm saying give it some thought. See what you come up with. Because I can only analyze it, right? And this kind of thing, I think would take a group to look at and make some determinations. Okay, y'all. So I was told the mall is about to close, but we'll come back to it. Keep in mind that the second house. The second house is involving our treaty. All right. So that's all I got. Islam to all the more. Shalom.